The 21st century has ushered in an era where the rumble of tanks and the clash of armies over oil fields or territorial disputes are becoming relics of the past. Modern warfare is no longer waged for land or national honor. It has evolved into a far more sophisticated, cold, and calculated game, the manipulation of global financial markets. This new battlefield redefines the structure of monetary power. It relentlessly strives to maintain the supremacy of the US dollar amidst the rising tide of de-dollarization efforts. In essence, today's war is a strategic repricing on Wall Street, not a bloody chess match on the physical battlefield. Welcome to Inner Light, where we unveil truths society often prefers to keep hidden. War is no longer about territory. It is a financial instrument. Historically, wars erupted to control the flow of tangible assets, like gold, oil, land, and even human labor. Today, the objective has shifted to controlling intangible assets, the invisible, yet immensely powerful forces that dictate global finance. This includes the trust placed in a currency, the market's expectations, and most critically, the power to dictate global capital flows. The era of direct military conflict for territorial gain is largely behind us. Now, nations engage in economic skirmishes to bolster their currency's value. They launch financial instruments to inflate bond yields, and they deliberately sow instability to redirect capital back into their own currencies. A single bullet today might destroy a city, but a shock wave of inflation can devastate dozens of fragile economies. And no one is more adept at orchestrating such shocks than those who possess both nuclear arsenals and the power to print money. Do you need proof? Let's cast our minds back to 3 pivotal days in mid-June 2025. On June 13th, Israel launched a calculated light attack on a few Iranian military facilities. There was no declaration of war, no dramatic escalation, just a subtle symbolic jab at a sensitive strategic slap. On June 14th, Iran retaliated with predictable precision. Missiles rained down like festive fireworks. Air defense systems blared warnings. And Western media celebrated, eager for sensational headlines. Then, on June 15th, global markets erupted. Oil prices surged, reaching their highest level since October 2023. Gold, traditionally a safe haven asset, flatlined like an ECG after a heart attack. Stock markets bled red, with the Nasdaq losing over 4%. Capital fled risky assets, like bees from a shattered hive. The average person witnessed a military conflict, felt anger, confusion, and prayed for peace. But those in the know, the currency traders in Manhattan, London, or Zurich, they laughed. They understood this wasn't a war in the traditional sense, but a meticulously orchestrated global financial reset. What the world observed wasn't an immediate reaction from an offended party. It was a programmed response, an action designed to steer the market according to a pre-written script. Once war erupts, oil prices climb. When oil rises, inflation surges. When inflation surges, the U.S. Federal Reserve gains legitimate justification to avoid cutting interest rates. And when interest rates remain high, capital continues to flow into the U.S. dollar. Only currency backed by both lives and bonds. That, my friends, is the true objective. No one truly cares about Iranian civilians or Israeli victims. What the Western financial elite truly holds dear is the dollar at its peak. And what they fear most is the Chinese yuan, gold, cryptocurrency, or anything that could make the world question the US dollar's position in the global payment system. So, if it takes striking a nation to protect their currency, they will do it. If it means sacrificing a few hundred lives to maintain their status as the king of currencies, they will do that too. There is no emotion in these decisions, only cold, hard calculation. And what is the most terrifying aspect of all this? The vast majority of the world remains oblivious. They are mere pawns in this grand financial chess game. They sit idly waiting for news, trembling at the prospect of a world war, while those who truly understand have already placed their buy and sell orders since yesterday. By the time the masses realize what's happening, their assets have evaporated. The market has reset, and the game has changed hands. Welcome to the century of financial warfare, where bullets are merely smoke screens, and the dollar's value is the real weapon of mass destruction. The fragile foundation, America's economic reality. The American economy is fracturing, and the financial elite desperately needs an excuse to evade responsibility. Behind the dazzling facade of GDP figures, behind the speeches proclaiming robust recovery and global economic leadership, the United States is in fact treading on thin ice, a fragile financial system riddled with cracks. In this precarious context, the financial elite, particularly the U.S. Federal Reserve, doesn't need an economic solution. They need a pretext. They need an event significant enough to rationalize their impotence and divert public attention, and above all, to safeguard the U.S. dollar's position at any cost. That pretext has arrived, not in the form of an economic summit, but as the ominous roar of missiles from the Middle East. The reality is the U.S. economy is far from stable, contrary to official reports. As of May 2025, the U.S. Consumer Price Index, CPI, remains stubbornly anchored at 3.3%. Consistently exceeding the Fed's 2% target for over a year. Inflation is no longer a temporary phenomenon. It has become structural. Energy prices, especially gasoline and oil, remain high following the Ukraine crisis and tensions in the Persian Gulf. Housing prices continue to soar due to supply shortages, and mortgage interest rates are astronomically high. Food and essential consumer goods have not escaped this price spiral, as global supply chains have never truly recovered from the pandemic and ongoing economic sanctions. The average American continues to live in a state of superficial recovery, yet daily expenses become increasingly difficult to manage. Nominal wages may have increased, but real purchasing power continues to decline, and the Fed knows this. They also know that if they continue to maintain high interest rates to combat inflation, economic growth will be stifled. The labor market, their last bastion of reassurance, is also faltering. One of the media's favorite talking points to calm public anxiety has been the resilience of the labor market. However, by May 2025, the unemployment rate had climbed to 4.2%, the highest figure in the past 2 years. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Many small and medium-sized businesses, while not yet engaging in mass layoffs, have quietly frozen hiring. Tech, finance, and logistics corporations, once pillars of job creation in the post-COVID era, are now contracting, cutting staff, or relocating offices to lower-cost countries. This has created a subtle domino effect. Workers are losing faith in job stability. Consumer spending is sharply declining, which in turn negatively impacts consumption growth, a sector that accounts for over 60% of U.S. GDP. An economy that doesn't consume is an economy in decline, especially one as consumption-driven as the U.S. The illusion of stability, a fragile thread. Stability is a subtle trap. We are raised with a pre-programmed formula: study hard, find a stable job, work diligently every day, and retire at 60. Everything revolves around this singular concept: stability. But no one tells you that this stability is merely a veneer. Beneath it lies a sugar-coated trap. A stable job, one layoff is all it takes. Stable income, one industry downturn, Stable health, one unexpected medical diagnosis. Everything you believe to be stable depends on one thing that is never stable, your job. If your financial lifeline originates from a single source, that is not stability. That is a fatal vulnerability. True stability is when you can cease working and money continues to flow. Then you no longer work out of obligation. You work because you desire to. That is genuine autonomy. And reaching that point is not a 1 in a million shot. It is a profound transformation of mindset from merely existing through work to actively creating independent income streams. If you are currently entirely dependent on your monthly salary, do not delude yourself into believing you are living stably. You are suspended by a fragile thread, and one strong gust of wind can send everything free-falling. Financial freedom, not for dreamers, but for doers. Financial freedom is not for dreamers. It does not spring from luck, unexpected windfalls, or the overnight success of million-dollar ventures. Do not sit there fantasizing about winning the lottery, encountering a benevolent benefactor, or suddenly launching a wildly successful startup. These are illusions, and the more you cling to illusions, the more you fear reality. Financial freedom is the privilege of the clear-headed, those who know precisely where they are, where they intend to go, and possess a concrete action plan for every month, every year. They do not chase fleeting inspiration. They do not wait for the perfect moment. They begin with the smallest actions: saving, accumulating assets, investing, one step at a time, repeated relentlessly until money works for them. Tony Robbins famously said, "Financial freedom is not about how much money you have, but how long you can live if you stop working today." That statement is not meant to inspire. It is the most pragmatic measure of your standing in the financial game. If you quit your job right now, how long could you survive? 1 month? 3 months? Or just a few days? The answer will reveal an uncomfortable truth. If that number is too small, you have never truly been free. And if you fail to act, you will never be free. Financial freedom is a long game, reserved for those with a strategy, not a slumbering dream for the complacent. A small action, a single step out of the stability trap. Financial freedom does not require a grand beginning. It does not demand that you have a lot of money, nor does it compel you to await the perfect moment. The truth is, everyone begins with very small actions. The critical difference is that successful individuals start immediately. Start this month. Do not invent excuses like, "not enough yet." It is the end of the month, or "let us wait until next year." Just set aside, say, 50 each month to save. If you accumulate enough, buy gold. Allocate 25 to open an investment account and learn risk management. Acquire a new skill, like content creation or online sales. Of course, initially you will not see massive results, but continuously improve, continuously learn. These actions may sound simple, but they are the foundational bricks for an independent future. The greatest error most people make is waiting for ideal conditions to begin. But the reality is, those who wait never start. Successful individuals act even before they feel entirely ready. Waiting for a higher salary to invest means your money has already dissipated through expenses. Waiting until you have plenty to save means you will continue to spend it all due to ingrained habits. Waiting for time to learn a new skill means the market will have left you far behind. Every month is an opportunity. Every small sum of money is a choice. Either spend it all and remain stagnant, or set a portion aside and take another step toward freedom. You do not need to transform your entire life in a single day. We simply need to act with clarity, consistency, and begin now. Do not awaken too late. Life possesses an uncanny ability to awaken people with a painful jolt. Some must endure an unexpected job loss to realize they possess nothing but a degree and empty hands. Others must spend weeks hospitalized to truly comprehend that without a steady income stream, without a financial plan, all dreams are mere scraps of paper. Income is oxygen. When it flows consistently, we often fail to appreciate its vital importance. But when it ceases, everything begins to crumble. Future plans, family responsibilities, and even personal freedom. The crushing feeling of helplessness when you lack even a few $100s to navigate a crisis is an experience you can actively avoid. Do not wait until you have lost everything to learn how to save. Do not wait until you have fallen to consider building a shield to protect your finances. You do not need a crisis to compel change. Sometimes small early actions can salvage an entire phase of your life. Choose clarity today, or pay a heavy price tomorrow. And the sobering truth is, not everyone gets the chance to correct their mistakes once they realize them. This message is for those who refuse to be ensnared by the illusions of false security. It is for those who are ready to confront the uncomfortable truths about their financial reality and take decisive action. The path to true freedom is not easy, but it is within your grasp. It begins with a single step, a conscious decision to break free from the chains of dependency and build a future where your money works for you, not the other way around. Join us on Inner Light as we continue to explore the principles of lasting success and genuine autonomy. Your journey to financial mastery starts now. Conclusion. Your call to action. This message is for those who refuse to be ensnared by the illusions of false security. It is for those who are ready to confront the uncomfortable truths about their financial reality and take decisive action. The path to true freedom is not easy, but it is within your grasp. It begins with a single step, a conscious decision to break free from the chains of dependency and build a future where your money works for you, not the other way around. Join us on Inner Light as we continue to explore the principles of lasting success and genuine autonomy. Your journey to financial mastery starts now.